Well, welcome to this film, and you could be forgiven for thinking that you'd made the mistake and joined Saturday Kitchen, but no, this is Proteus TV. And in this particular film, we're going to be looking at the way that we look after and manage this material, food wastes. In the United Kingdom at the moment, we generate almost 9 million tonnes of food waste, which is currently sent to landfill. And quite clearly, that's not sustainable, and we need to do something about it. Now, some consumers who, like myself, have got a garden and are lucky enough to have a large garden where I can have a compost heap, I tend to collect my vegetable peelings and tea bags and tissues and things. And once I've got a big enough bag, I go down and compost them down. I turn them into fertiliser for the plants in my garden. But what's being proposed now is they're talking about introducing new schemes where we have buckets like this in every household in England and Wales, where as well as vegetable peelings, you'll also be putting your cooked food waste as well, including meat and fish. And that material will be collected and it'll be taken away and it'll be put through a new processing plant where it'll be turned into clean electricity, valuable renewable energy, which this country really needs. So that's a very positive win-win situation. We're stopping things going to landfill and we're generating good energy from it at the same time. But before we get there, before we all get too excited about this, there's one fundamental problem that we have to deal with, and that's the way we're going to communicate this change. Because there's a bit of a disconnect between the guys who are doing this and the guys who are generating the electricity. And what we have to do is make sure that consumers who we're going to get them to change and make a fundamental change in their behaviour, we've got to get them to understand the positive benefits which are going to come from it. That's a real communications challenge. But we also have to make sure we can persuade consumers to allow the building of the processing plants as well. And these processing plants are called anaerobic digestion plants, which is something that a lot of consumers don't understand and which actually might get in the way of our ability to deliver this new form of energy. So what we're going to do in this film is look at that disconnect and see what we could do to try and really positively engage with consumers so they really want to participate in this scheme, and at the same time ensure we have enough processing plants built to take that 9 million tonnes of waste. So in this film, we would like to welcome you to the world of anaerobic digestion. Have you heard of a system called anaerobic digestion?
No.
What's that? What does it sound like? What do you think it is?
So that sounds like you get to the hospital to have done.
What they're going to do, you know that little box you put your food waste in?
Yeah.
They take that and they put it through a machine called an anaerobic digester and they make electricity from it. So instead of it going to a landfill site, they make power out of it. Do you think that's a good idea?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah? You wouldn't mind one of them being built around here somewhere?
No, that's an excellent idea.
Well, it doesn't smell too bad.
We all throw a lot of food away,
good.
so yeah.
Sounds like some sort of terminal illness. Makes sense. I don't see why not, seeing as we're running out of fossil fuels and such in the entire world. So it makes sense to do so.
Sounds like something that would happen in the human body.
Right.
Anaerobic.
Yeah.
It's like respiration, isn't it? Yeah. Anaerobic respiration.
Very good. It's something done without oxygen. So what they're talking about doing in West Oxfordshire is giving you a little food caddy which you put your food waste in. They're going to take it to this machine where they're going to turn it into a gas and make electricity of it. So they'll take your food waste and make power. So do you think that's a good idea?
Well, I can't see it being a bad idea, to be honest.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, do you know what anaerobic digestion is?
No,
It sounds awful.
it sounds disgusting.
So they're going to take your food waste and make energy out of it. Do you think that's a good idea?
Yes, very good, yes, fine. If there are no other byproducts that could be harmful, as long as it's all going to make electricity.
Well, perhaps there's no surprise there in terms of the reaction to the name, but maybe what was a surprise was the 100% support we got from members of the public once we explained to them the positive benefits that were going to come from that process, once we got past the name. And that's something we should take on board as communicators when we're considering how to engage with stakeholders who live near sites where they're talking about building anaerobic digestion plants. So what we thought we would do next is go and talk to somebody who's already been out there and doing this, and we went to see Biogen Greenfinch at their operations in Bedfordshire.
I'm Richard Barker, I'm the Chief Executive of Biogen Greenfinch.
So Richard, if I can just start by asking you just to describe the process for us.
First stage is to take in packaged or unpackaged food waste, or indeed liquid food waste, and we take all three at this particular plant. We then treat that by taking the packaging away if necessary. Then we take all that food waste, macerate it, turn it into a porridge-like substance, and that moves into the anaerobic digestion process. And there we heat it up and supply that as a nutrient to the bacteria that we have in our digesters. They then really eat and start digesting that food waste. They then generate methane gas, which we capture, combust in engines, and that then is supplied as electricity to the national grid. The digestate that comes off the process, which is very liquidy, almost like a liquid compost, that's a biofertilizer that we then apply to the land in lieu of fossil fuel-based fertilizers.
Obviously the new government is very positive about AD. You must see this as a real opportunity for your business.
We think it is. I mean, fundamentally this business was set up to be at the forefront of the AD, what we believe the AD expansion that's going to happen. I mean, if we look at the UK, we're talking, you know, a range of estimates from a minimum of about 8 million tonnes of food waste a year up to 20 million tonnes. I mean, we believe conservatively that there is probably 4 to 5 million tonnes of food waste that can be readily captured in a form that's suitable for an AD process. Now, the plants we operate are around 45,000 tonnes, so we believe that's a potential capacity of around 100 AD plants to deal with food waste within the UK, and at the moment we're at less than 10, so there is a significant opportunity.
We've been out talking to members of the public, and the expression AD does get a mixed response, to put it politely. Do you think that the expression AD gets in the way?
It's a tricky name, isn't it? Anaerobic digestion sounds like some kind of stomach upset. There are, however, quite a lot of technical names within the waste management sector. You hear about terms such as gasification, pyrolysis, and obviously anaerobic digestion. So for me, it's less of an issue of the name and how technical it sounds. It's more of couching that within the context of what it does and what it can do for society. So for me, it's whether it's anaerobic digestion or AD, it's more the point of state what it is and state what it can deliver, which is obviously renewable energy and a biofertilizer that will replace fossil fuel-based fertilizers.
Richard, thank you very much indeed.
All right, thank you.
Well, there's no question of it that in our minds, anaerobic digestion has a fundamental role to play in the treatment of waste within the United Kingdom in the coming years. The critical thing for us as communicators is to engage with the public in such a way that they see the positive benefits and want to actively get involved in taking part. Because at the moment there is a disconnect between collection systems and disposal systems. This technology provides an ideal opportunity for the waste industry to positively re-engage with members of the public. If we can find the form of words to demonstrate to them that actually they can make a tangible benefit to the environment through their day-to-day activities in terms of the disposal of their waste, that would be a very positive outcome indeed. Maybe an opportunity that for the first time we could reposition the waste management industry not as the bogeymen of the environment, but actually as environmental champions.